Hello, everyone, and welcome back to today's, Blu-ray update along with a few, channel update things. And before we actually get into today's long overdue Blu-ray update, basically I just wanted to get this off my chest and basically explain myself why I've been, away from YouTube for, quite frankly, too long, but basically a month and a half. No easy way to say it. I just been busy. There's too much hectic stuff going on in my life, and I needed to change a few things in my life too. Not to go into too personal details, but essentially, if you guys don't know what I do outside of YouTube, I'm a chef. I work in kitchens and stuff, and I cook a lot during, that's basically my career. I cook. I'm a chef. And anyways, to get to the point of it, I was working a regular restaurant job. It wasn't to do with anything pay-wise or anything. I was quite content with the job, just that kind of wasn't happy where things were going for me at that place. Again, I won't go into too much detail, but generally wasn't happy working there, so I just had to change jobs. And so far, I'm liking the new job so far. It's a lot more different, I should say, but all at the same time, it's very rewarding experience. The other reason too, I was kind of thinking about doing a few things, focusing more on the channel. I kind of want to do a little more with the channel and bring out different content. So I'm kind of thinking doing more vlogs too down the road, etc. And also shaking things up a bit in the whole toy review department and movie review department. So yeah, basically I've been looking at the views lately. Universal Monster reviews haven't been doing too good, so kind of want to rush those out a bit more in the coming months to get them wrapped up and ready so we can do newer movie stuff. So yeah, that's all it in the nutshell, in case you guys are wondering why I've been absent. Just there you go. Just basically thinking about, change things up a bit in my personal life, but also thinking about changing stuff up for the channel as well. Just had to sit down and think about over the couple of months how to do that sort of thing. So there's your explanation in a nutshell. With that being said, let's actually get into today's, Blu-ray update that again, like I said, I didn't pick up a whole lot of movies lately. I just kind of, there wasn't a whole lot of sales going on. There wasn't anything that appealed to me lately. It was sort of like, some movies were kind of appealing, but it wasn't a whole lot of stuff. In case you're wondering, the timeline when I picked these movies up, these are from all the way back in March to now July. So as you can see, now you're probably thinking that's a lot of stuff, but honestly, suffices to say, I didn't pick up a whole lot. It's just probably just about half of the pickups I picked up of movies, which is kind of disappointing, but again, that's just the nature of the beast. And we're going to start out with the horror genre. Now, I didn't pick up a whole lot of horror movies. There were a couple that I set aside for movie reviews. Again, if you've been following my channel since I created it, I have a bunch of movie reviews that I was supposed to do for October. I picked up the movies for those types of movie reviews, so now they will be reserved specifically for my Movie Macabre Mondays that I plan on doing way back in Halloween. Originally called Horrorween, but anyways, that's the main reason why I'm not going to show them, because I'll probably show them in the movie reviews that I plan on doing for those horror related stuff. But anyways, picked up some horror movies. First off, this movie just blew me away. This has been one of the most talked about movies in recent years. I think it came out last year, and it just swept up the awards season this year. Just came out of left field, but I don't need to go too much into it because I do plan on doing a movie review of this movie eventually, but we have Get Out. No need to explain it. Just a brilliant movie. Love this movie. Hopefully you guys can see it if it's centered, but there you go. Again, I'm going to save all my energy and stuff and talk about this movie for eventual Movie Macabre Monday review, but overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really well done, very well executed, and quite different, honestly. I'm not going to spoil too much, obviously. As I said, I'm just going to save it for the movie review, but honestly, I really enjoyed it. To be honest, I never thought the actor well, Jordan Peele, the actor turned director now, could craft such a brilliant horror movie, I should say. And yeah, just delivered on everything. I just was blown away by this movie. So yeah, look forward to that in a future update. Now, the next one is not specifically horror, but there's no way to categorize this movie. It's kind of like thriller, but also picked up Insomnia with Christopher Nolan's directed movie. Again, enjoyed this one as well. This is came out around 2003, so it's not that recent, but I actually really enjoyed this movie as well. I know this is actually a remake from, I think, a Norwegian movie. Sadly, I don't know where I can get that. I think on Amazon it's going through large sums of collector's prices online. So again, it is what it is. But overall, I enjoyed this movie. I may probably do, once I get the original movie, I'll probably do a comparison of the two and see which one is better. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was one of Christopher Nolan's best movies in a while. First time watching it, and probably will watch it again once I get the Norwegian movie back and do an eventual review for that. Now, this one basically again cleaned up at the award seasons way back in February, I believe, at the Oscars. Won Best Picture and Best Director. Again, I love this director's work. I think he's just a brilliant visionary director. He's directed a lot of my favorite movies, specifically the Hellboy films. Again, I probably gave it away, but we have the absolutely gorgeous movie by none other than Guillermo del Toro, probably mispronounced his name, but The Shape of Water. With, of course, the gorgeous slipcover. I mean, look at that. Beautiful. And, of course, came with a slipcover, as you can see, nice and shiny. And if you need a nice close-up look, I guess you won't see, but as you can see, won a bunch of awards, 13 nominations, and cleaned up for Best Director and Best Picture. So yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was very good. Again, I know some of you are probably scratching your head why I put this in the horror section. Again, it's not technically a horror movie. It's kind of like I don't know, a fantasy, gothic fantasy, not really gothic fantasy, but a fantasy fairy tale movie, more than horror with a monster in it. But I kind of slotted in for horror because obviously the Amphibian Man, and of course it draws huge inspirations from the Universal classic movie Creature from the Black Lagoon. So that's why I kind of slotted in horror a bit, because of the whole inspiration behind it, etc. So yeah, that's basically why. But overall, really love this movie. I'm probably not going to do a review of this movie because I think this movie's been talked about to death and got a lot of praise, but honestly, I really enjoyed it. I think it's one of Guillermo del Toro's best works in a while, and I think it's one of my favorite movies of 2017 of last year, and just easily one of my favorite all-time movies as well. But I really thought this was one of his best works in recent years, and just an overall really good movie. So yeah, very well deserving of all the award winnings it deserves. So yeah, I know that made no sense, but whatever. Just overall, really enjoyed the movie. Alright, so now, that's basically it for horror. Again, as I said, I got a lot of other stuff that's for, well, specifically for movie reviews only, so that's kind of like just a small bit of what I actually bought. The rest was, like I said, for movie reviews only. But yeah, pretty good selection in that type of genre. I know Insomnia was not in horror, but anyway. Moving on. These are kind of like indie movies. I got two indie movies and two comedy films recently, and one that I had for a while. But I'll show the one that I had for a while. Hot Tub Time Machine. Love this movie. No need to explain. I think some people like this movie as well. Avoid the sequel. The sequel's crap. Don't bother. The first one, this movie didn't really need a sequel anyway. It just was fine on its own, but love this movie. I think it's hilarious. No need to go too much into it because I thought it was a hilarious movie. So yeah, Hot Tub Time Machine, great movie. If you haven't seen it, see it. The next one I just picked up recently. There was now, if you guys don't live in Canada, there's of course a retail store called Giant Tiger. I shop at Giant Tiger a lot to pick up a lot of Blu-rays and movies, etc., and other stuff. If you guys don't know what Giant Tiger is, it's basically a Canadian retail store, discount store that specializes in markdown items, etc. Kind of like Big Lots. If you guys have a Big Lots, that's kind of like what Giant Tiger is. Is that recently I went in there, I think a couple of days ago, and they had a pretty good sale on some Blu-rays, so I picked up some Blu-rays for $4.99, so that wasn't too bad. So first movie I picked up for $4.99, another comedy, is of course The 40-Year-Old Virgin. I actually haven't seen this movie till now. Absolutely loved it. I think it was hilarious. Main reason why I'd never seen it was because of the fact I think it's a bit over. Everybody, when this movie came out, was overpraising it. I kind of avoided it because of that, because I was like, you know, don't want to bother with it because it's been talked about to death so much to me and recommended so many times. But finally watched it on Blu-ray, and I gotta say, fantastic movie. I actually had no clue this was actually Judd Apatow's first movie, first directed debut film for Judd Apatow. I thought that was cool. And the other cool thing too is apparently Steve Carell apparently did some writing for the screenplay of this movie, which again I had no clue I actually had no clue about that either. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, great movie. Loved it. I had a fun time with it. Definitely see why people love it so much. These are kind of like random movies I just saw on sale for $4.99. Yeah, nothing too. I'm not really knowledgeable in it, but they're kind of like indie movies, I guess. But I just thought they looked cool, like sounded interesting on the back of the cover. But the first movie I got, I just thought this cover blew me away. How cool it looked. It kind of looked like a Criterion edition, but anyways, it's Lobster again. There's no title here, but it's on the spine, as you can see. Very gorgeous edition for $4.99. As you can see, $4.99 on Blu-ray. Just a gorgeous edition, as you can see. I have no clue what this movie's about. There's no description on it whatsoever, but it comes in this really nice slipcover. And this slides out there. We'll put it on the side there. Get the front and the back. As you can see, I haven't opened it yet. And yeah, there's no description at the back at all. I just thought this edition looked really cool, so I just had to pick it up. But looks like kind of like an indie movie, as you probably forgot to show this back, but as you can see, very gorgeous edition. Love it. For $4.99, you can't beat it. Kind of looks like a Criterion, as I said, but I have no clue what this movie's about because there was no reading description on it. This cover appealed to me, so I figured for $4.99, why not? You know, I figured why not pick it up for $4.99? I thought it would look pretty cool. So yeah, I honestly have no idea what this movie's about. All I know is it apparently has Colin Farrell in it, and apparently it's, you know, interesting, I guess. I honestly have no idea, so that's why I picked it up, is because the cover looked cool and it kind of looks like a Criterion edition. So yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell. And then we also got, this sounded interesting on the back because this is actually a Western movie. Now, I'm not a big fan of Western movies. Certain ones I am. I'm always a fan of Clint Eastwood, classic Westerns, and Quentin Tarantino's spaghetti Westerns like Hateful Eight and Django Unchained. But overall, I'm not really a huge Western fan. And of course, John Wayne, but as far as Westerns go, I kind of stick to more like the campier ones, like spaghetti Westerns, and some of the more like modern classic ones, like the Clint Eastwood movies and John Wayne, etc. All those types of movies, you know. But I figured, you know, for $4.99, this sounded interesting. It stars one of my favorite actors and probably one of the best comic book villain actors ever. We got Michael Fassbender in Slow West. Again, you can see $4.99 on Blu-ray. I just thought this movie sounded interesting and it starred Michael Fassbender. I said, well, screw it, you know, why not? For a blind buy, that's not too bad. So, again, from what I can read at the back, and it just sounded interesting, but it sounds Michael Fassbender basically plays some kind of bounty hunter in it, like a Western bounty hunter, and he's keeping Cody Smith McPhee. Cody Smith McPhee was in the Planet of the Apes movies, well, the Dawn, and he was also in the later X-Men movies, mainly Apocalypse. So he's actually a really good actor too. Sorry, but basically, it sounded interesting on back. But essentially, I guess he's some kind of bounty hunter looking after this kid right here on this cover. So Cody Smith McPhee. It just sounded very interesting on the back, and it just sounds like one interesting right on the movie. It doesn't say much, so yeah, I figured why not check it out for $4.99. It sounded interesting. All right, now that is it for the main random pickups. Again, that's basically it. This is now getting into sort of the superhero movies, comic book movies, or whatever you want to call it. Again, didn't get a lot in the comic book movie section because there wasn't a whole lot of stuff on sale, and some of the more ones that I wanted to get weren't around anymore. In case you guys are wondering what I'm referring to, of course, I'm trying to build up my Marvel Cinematic Universe collection and get some of the more Phase 1 and Phase 2 films on Blu-ray. Unfortunately, they weren't around during any sales or any online sales, so I couldn't find them. But I figured, why not focus on Phase 3 for now and worry about the last couple of phases before, I do an eventual review series of that. So, again, just going to show the first two I got, but picked up Thor Ragnarok. Love this slipcover, by the way, very nice. Very nice edition. Love this movie. I had so much fun with it. Again, I'm not going to give too much away about it, but had a lot of fun with it. Thought it was a fun ride of a movie. Probably one of the best Thor movies in the Thor movie trilogy. And yeah, just really enjoyed it. And of course, more recent one that came out a while ago, but I got it now on Blu-ray, Black Panther. Love this movie too. I saw it in theaters and I thought it was a blast. Again, very nice slipcover. Very nice. Again, I'm not getting too much into these movies because, like I said before, I'm going to save them for movie reviews for the eventual, eventually what I was going to do was save the movie reviews for the forthcoming, already released Infinity War, but unfortunately didn't have time. Infinity War's date changed from May to April, so I just decided to screw it and just, do them on my own time. So probably going to do, hopefully my guideline to do the Marvel Cinematic movie reviews will probably be around, once I get them all in the collection. I'm trying to aim towards before Avengers 4 comes out in May. So yeah, that's basically a timeline, or due date, I should say, when I want to get those movie reviews up, is to basically review them all before Avengers 4 comes out. I have seen Infinity War, in case you're wondering. I better get that out of the way too, I forgot to mention. I have seen both Infinity War recently and Ant-Man and the Wasp. Again, Infinity War, in case this is just a short review, loved it. I thought it was awesome. Really liked all the action in it. Thought it was a fun movie and definitely deserves all the praise and probably one of Marvel's best movies in a while. And Ant-Man and the Wasp, I thought it was solid, but it wasn't as good as the first one. But again, I'm not going to go in too much in depth with all the Marvel movies, like I said, because I'm saving them for eventual, review of everything. I'm also going to include the Netflix shows as well. Whenever you see my channel in the forthcoming days, when I pick up all the Marvel movies, that's when I'll be doing basically a full-fledged review series of nothing but Marvel movies, which is going to be an epic marathon for sure. Next, going to the DC territory. No, not the DCEU, but all sort of a related DC movie in Lego form. No introduction to this one because I already showed it in my Lego Batgirl toy review. We, of course, got the Lego Batman movie on Blu-ray. This is, of course, I picked this up at Walmart. I think I already said this before, but this is actually a Target exclusive edition. I do have the Blu-ray, but I didn't felt like getting the Blu-ray down here. I just got the box instead. But as you can see, comes with a figure right there, and comes with a bunch of postcards. So it's a pretty cool edition. And it comes in this nice snazzy box. In case you're wondering what the Blu-ray looks like, that's all it looks like. Theirs is a standard Blu-ray with the slipcover. So major difference there. It's, just a cool edition to have. Honestly, I just thought this edition was cool, so that's why I picked it up. In case you're wondering how I thought about the movie, though, I honestly thought it was a lot of fun for, what it was. I enjoyed the Lego movie. I loved the Lego movie. I thought it was a fun movie, and as a follow-up to their sort of shared universe franchise thing, Lego franchise thing, I thought this movie was really well done, and I thought it was on the same type of humor as a Lego movie, and I just thought it was a lot of fun. There's a lot of references that comic fans will dig to the Batman lore, and also the casual, movie fans will dig as well, and just overall a really fun movie for both the adults and kiddies. Just really love this movie a lot. Now, here, this is going to be into the sci-fi section and final part of this update video. Again, it's going to be very short, I know, but this is a franchise I grew up with over the years, and I avoided buying any sort of disc-based releases for a couple of years. Main reason, again, you probably know what it is, but I'll show you in a minute, but I have this edition. Of course, with showing it now, it's Star Wars, but I avoided all sort of disc-based release. I avoided the DVD release that came out in 2004, in case you're wondering what it looks like. It looks like that. And I avoided the other single disc releases that came out the following year as well. And main reason was, of course, the, changes made to the Star Wars saga. So, yeah, I kind of, specifically the Lucas changes to the original trilogy and to the prequel trilogy as well, but honestly, nobody cares about the prequel, so it's not that big of a deal anyway. But yeah, I sort of avoided buying anything Star Wars on DVD because of the fact I didn't want to pay out the what knows for, tampered with films that didn't need to be tampered with in the first place. I get what Lucas was trying to do, but, I'm in the same boat as most fans are that, the tampering is ridiculous, and quite frankly, I don't know why they're tampered with anyway. But anyways, I avoided this franchise forever, and I figured it was, long overdue. I have it back in my collection despite the changes, but needs no further induction. But I picked up the Star Wars Complete Saga Collection. Now, in case you're wondering what edition this is just a re-release edition of the 2011 Blu-ray. This isn't cheap. I paid full price for this. I think it was $119 Canadian. Got this at Walmart. Yeah, it's not cheap for what it is. I didn't want to pay that much money for it, but I figured, for what it is, and seeing how this is the only deluxe set out for all the original Star Wars movies, including the prequels. Yeah, I'd rather get it now than wait for, Disney. If you guys didn't know, Disney bought Fox a while ago and has now owned both everything Marvel and everything distribution rights to now the original trilogy of Star Wars. So much rather wait for the inevitable, ultimate set that Disney's going to eventually put out someday in the future. I don't know. I figured I may as well get the trilogy back in the collection anyway, and finally rewatch your films despite the fact they've been, heavily tampered with. And, this is a pretty cool edition. You get a nice look at Darth Vader there, looking cool. Get a nice look at the side there. It's kind of in a cheap cardboard box, which is kind of a letdown, but it's a re-release edition. Compared to the other edition, I think it was a lot more, quality control. I know the cover on that edition wasn't, particularly good, but, it is what it is, I guess. so we just slide it out. You get a nice big, again, same cover. You get a big Blu-ray case, which is friggin' huge. Awesome. And you get a look at the back here. You get a look at the Millennium Falcon in all its glory. And of course, comes with every single movie. There's also a complete guide to the galaxy, which is basically just a breakdown of all the special features in the set and everything that comes with the set. So, again, get episode 1. I'm not going to bother spinning the discs because probably everybody's seen this set up close. Episode 2 and 3. Episode 3 is probably still one of my favorites out of the prequel trilogy. You get episode 4 and 5, and finally episode 6. So, yeah. And I just realized something. A big old ding in that one, so not too pleased about that, but it's no big deal. I figured why not get Star Wars back in the collection. Actually, we'll watch it. This is the other reason why I've been on a brief hiatus too, because I've been marathoning through this set. So far, I only watch Attack of the Clones. What I'm doing is actually having a little Star Wars marathon. So currently, I'm slogging through and viewing the Clone Wars CGI series, and that series is really good, but it's just such a long series. That's, it's just very, very dense to get through. So basically, that's the other reason why I haven't been on YouTube so much, is because I've been marathoning Star Wars. I've been, diving into the set, of course, and just having a great old time revisiting one of my favorite childhood franchises of all time is Star Wars. So, yeah, in case you guys wondering, that's also the reason why I've been away. But honestly, despite the fact these are tampered with, this is probably the most deluxe Blu-ray set we get of this trilogy, and honestly, probably till for a while now, this is probably all we're gonna get for now. Now, of course, this is gonna probably cause a bit of controversy. Basically, some Star Wars fans are very divided on, of course, the sequel trilogy that Disney has lately plotted out. And, of course, I got them too, which I'm going to show right now. So, first off, I also picked up, needs no introduction, but Force Awakens. This is, of course, the regular Blu-ray edition with the black case, with the slipcover as well, as you can see. Very nice. I haven't seen this movie in a while. I haven't seen it basically since 2015 when it first came out on Blu-ray. I mean, sorry, when it first came out in theaters, it's got a bit brain mixed up there, but I honestly enjoyed it. I haven't rewatched it yet since, so I don't know how well it holds up for a second viewing. But honestly, I enjoyed it. I know a lot of fans say this is a carbon copy of Episode 4, which I full-heartedly disagree. If you want to hate me for that, you can. But honestly, I enjoyed Force Awakens. I thought it was a great reintroduction to the Star Wars, canon. And I just thought it was a fun movie overall. Loved all the new characters in it. I thought Rey, Finn, Poe, BB-8, Kylo Ren were all great, and this was overall a great movie altogether. I thought they did all the original characters well, bringing them back. Han Solo was great in this, and just overall a fun movie. Again, I haven't watched it in quite some time, so my opinion might differ on it for a second viewing. But honestly, I really enjoyed this one, and I still think it holds up very well. And of course, the next one, haven't seen this one yet. I missed it when it came down in theaters 2 years ago, but it seems like everybody loved this movie. Picked up Rogue One as well. Again, I have nothing to say here, but I'm actually curious of checking this one out because this is, of course, basically kind of like a bridge between Episode 3 and 4. Basically, these characters hijacked the Death Star plan, and everybody knows what happens to the Death Star in Episode 4, so yeah, no need to explain that already. But I generally heard Rogue One is actually a pretty fun Star Wars movie. Of course, I got into the slipcover, but very nice. And this one I'm going to show, I'm probably going to get a whole bunch of dislikes on this video for simply showing this movie, because I know a lot of fans are, if you like it or you don't, whatever, you can like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. That's all I'm going to say for now, but this particular movie, I hear a lot of Star Wars fans get upset over. I haven't watched it yet for a second viewing, but when I saw it in theaters, I enjoyed it. Maybe I might have a different opinion on it when I rewatch it again. Maybe I don't. I picked up The Last Jedi. I got the 4K edition because apparently this one is filmed in 4K, so I figured it might look a lot significantly better. This trilogy comes in this cool black case too, just like Force Awakens. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. My opinion on the movie, I know I'm probably gonna get hate for this already. Honestly, having seen it in theaters way back in December, I enjoyed it. I don't get the hate for it, to be honest. I enjoyed it when I saw it in the theater. I thought it was a really well done Star Wars movie. It deserves all the, excessive hate it gets. Do I think it's a perfect movie? No. Of course not. I still have to rewatch it so I can see the flaws for myself, but I didn't think it was as bad as some Star Wars fans have been said. Yes, it does some changes, but honestly, I think they were, changes that were necessary and to move the franchise in a new direction and keep it more fresh with, fresh and interesting. Keep the Star Wars train going, basically. But I still think Force Awakens is better than this, though. Is it better than, the original trilogy? Absolutely not. Still to this day, Episode 5 is my favorite, and followed by, 6 and 4 and Force Awakens. I think this is probably like my 6th favorite Star Wars movie. I don't think this movie deserves all the hate it gets. Some fans have criticized over, and some of the, criticisms I think are a little nitpicky. Probably won't do a movie review of it because just for the simple fact of how much toxic hate and all that. And I don't really want that in my comments section anyway. But probably, like I said before, I'm not going to review every single Star Wars movie that I view because everybody have their own opinions on it, and I don't want attacks in the comment section about it. But I know it's going to happen anyway because it's the internet, but there's certain, I don't know, like certain moments that come to mind that I thought were a little, unneeded. There's a lot of jokes in this one that I didn't think clicked. There's a lot of characters I didn't think stuck well in this series, in this movie, and yeah, those are my nitpicks about it, but I still enjoyed the movie nonetheless. I thought Mark Hamill returning as Luke Skywalker and his storyline was actually really good. I liked how the directions they were taking with Luke Skywalker and kind of making him more layered. Again, I'm just going off by memory. This is just I'm not really making a coherent, review of the movie, but I'm just going off by memory's sake. I enjoyed it, but I just don't get the hate. I think a lot of the fans that are focused on the hate don't like some of the changes. I mean, I know when Force Awakens came out, I know a lot of fans enjoyed it, but one of their main complaints was that it felt too much like New Hope. So, beggars can't be choosers. You can't please everyone. Until, maybe when the third one comes out, maybe I'll opinion on this movie. I know that wasn't really a proper, discussion, or I definitely don't think it's one of the worst movies I've seen. I think it's a well, developed movie, but I don't think it's perfect. I enjoyed it, but, it does have its problems. So that's it for today's DVD and Blu-ray update. A little rambly there, and I do apologize. I want to get this update, done and over with. And as you can see, very short update too, because there's not a whole lot that I picked up. So yeah, that's basically it. All I got, some good sci-fi movies. I'm glad to get Star Wars back in the collection, despite the edition that I got wasn't, it was about high time I got Star Wars back in the collection. I was glad to pick up some of the newer movies as well, so I can have a mini marathon to myself for that. And also glad to pick up some of the Marvel Cinematic movies and some cool, comedy, horror movies, and some indie movies in that section. So, yeah, guys, that's it for today's video. Again, like I said, I know this video came off as a little rambly. I do apologize. It's, trying to get back in the swing of things for videos lately. So stay tuned for more stuff on my channel. So probably the next video I'll probably put up is probably going to be a Toy Box Tuesday video. I have a bunch of figures that I'm going to do reviews of in the next couple of days for every Tuesday for toy reviews. So stay tuned for that. Still going to plug away at the Universal Monster review, so also stay tuned for that when I get around to it. Again, trust me, hopefully it won't be another month till I, do that. Probably look forward to that in the next couple of days. So anyways, guys, just going to close this video off very shortly because I, didn't expect to go into the Star Wars rant there. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more videos coming your way in the next couple of weeks. Gonna get back in the swing of things and be more, productive on the video making end and try to deliver more content for you guys. And to be honest, I think it might happen more often now because, well, I got more free time on my hands now than I did before. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, for Morgan Entertainment, stay entertained.